right, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. It's just another fun-filled week. Now we come down to this is it. This is the end of the end, the coup de grace. It's it. It's done. By this time next week, it will be in the rear view mirror. The election will be over with. President Trump will still probably be President Trump. The leftist will be the leftist. They'll be suing, screaming, and crying about whatever they normally scream, and cry and so forth about. So we'll just take it all in normal stride. But I have to say, I think the world economy will become better. Things will look better. Things will go in better directions. The Trump universe is so much better. IVB, ¿qué pasa? And so it'll all work out in the end result. Everything will be fine. And so here we go. We can see here we're starting off with the what are we starting off with? With the Swiss. So obviously, since it's strong, obviously the dollar is strong, and that's what you can see right there. I guess you have to say, why is the dollar strong? I guess combinations. The fear over here is that Europe is going to lock itself down again. Come on. This is crazy stuff. The cure is worse than the disease itself. The cure is bad. Locking down doesn't work. It's not any more helpful. Here in the United States, we are 45 states or so are not locked down. We're at record number tests. In other words, we've been testing so many people, and obviously that drives up our results of more people having C19. But no one's dying. The death rate is nowhere near as even remotely what it was before. So it's just absurd. It's all absurd. It makes no sense. We don't have a media reporting any information correctly or functional whatsoever. All they tell us is that we're at record numbers of virus infected. Not one word, not one single word of we are at record numbers of taking tests. So in other words, yes, if we're at record numbers of virus infected people, it's because we're at record numbers. We are taking numbers that are horrendously enormous. And then when you look at the death rate, it's incredibly small. It just, the world has got to wake up to these leftists. They're just torturing us. So how do you close schools but keep liquor stores open, Middle age, how you doing? Soybeans, wheat are at my convenience. No. At your convenience. We're going to put those things up right now. Let's take a look. Here it is. Ask and you shall receive. I like that biblical stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, and so that's feeder cattle. So let's go over to sewer beans. And boy, they've been harvesting them all over around here. The beans are being harvested. So there is November beans, or like last year's crop now. You can see it's trying to lift up a little bit more here. We've had some real sloppy action here. Fell down from like a high of 1094. And the close that day was at 82, and it has fallen down to 60, basically 59, and now we're picking back up a little bit here. But we stayed, couldn't get into the sell here because we were in with a green dot, and same situation here. And so it's been long since there, but we've been really long all the way back since the 28th of August. There you can see back in the 9.5 area. And then every sell has been not very good. That one helped out. That was all right. That went down about 15-20 cents. This one here, again, your 15, 20 cent situation. That buy there, went from the 956 all the way up to 956 to 994. So that was like a 38-cent move up, and then we fell back down here. But we still haven't had a sell. Now let's do this. Let's go check out January. That's right. We used to call it on the floor the brother's birthday. Let's check out the brother's birthday. And there it is. And that is where it's at. You can see that. It fell down here, and it's not even breaking down even a little in here, just that once there, which couldn't go into a cell. And so, and why do we call it the brother's birthday? Of course, was a trading floor thing. We all voted to make Martin Luther King Day an exchange holiday, and we called him the brother. He was our brother, and so we gave up presidential election day, and I think we gave up Columbus Day, so that we could have Martin Luther King Day. And so that was an important vote, and it was like almost unanimous out of tons and tons of traders, especially at the New York Stock Exchange. Because once they declared it, the rest of the other exchanges declared it, but traders all across the universe were very pro the idea of, in the 80s, of making Martin Luther King Day the birthday, and so that's January, MLK Day, Milk Day. So there it is. And so we always try to label something important, like we call Thanksgiving or November Thanksgiving, so we know that, you're talking about November. And we call October Halloween, and we call December Christmas. We have a tendency this way, when you're in a room of 1,000 people screaming and yelling, it's always important to try to get the most descriptive word. So if you yelled out the brother's birthday, everybody knew he meant January. Boom, done. That was it. Just like when you're screaming Christmas, everybody knows you're talking about December. So, and so there we are. We used to call it New Year's. Actually, Jan used to be called New Year's. But now we call it the brother's birthday. And so that's always cool. And that's where we are with the Jan beans. Now, what was the second one you asked about? Let's see, Wheaties. Let's check out wheat. We can go through the wheat complex, too. Now, there's Deck, or Christmas wheat. That's last year's crop. You can see it's really gotten tangled here. Look at that. Tight. Look at that time manifold. When's the last time we saw something like that? I guess in the middle of that trend, which is kind of curious. It got very tight there for a second, but boy, is it tight. You can see the white line is trying to break across. We're getting a volatility signal here. What else can we say? But look at this. Look at the weekly. The weekly line is holding up. And, traders that trade currencies and so forth, this all pertains. It's the same type of concept. That's why I'm very happy to always look at any product, because if we're looking at like the Swiss franc, we're looking at the same mathematics, interpreting it the same exact way. Okay? So when someone says, I don't want to see wheat or oil, or I want to see Apple computer, or, I want to see Tesla stock, or I want to see copper, or I want to see the euro against the dollar, or if I want to see, in other words, it's all the same game with me. It's all the same mathematics, same concepts. And so you can see here the time manifold, the white line is well above it for the weekly, and we've been in a weekly buy since back here on the Wheaties, just like what was that? That was back in the 21st, a week before the sewer beans. Interesting. And then let's go over the other wheat we watch. Is we watch spring wheat, which is the Kansas City red wheat, right there. And you can see the same situation, and that was also on the 21st. It went into the weekly buy back in August. Augie doggy. Sometimes we call August Dog Day, because of tongue hanger. The old expression about how hot it is in August, and it's a tongue hanger. The dog is sitting on the porch, and the tongue is hanging out. So we always call August. Sometimes we call it Augie doggy or tongue hanger. And so you can see there the daily buy has not really taken it up too far at all, but we've gotten the green dots out of it. We went into the sell here at the top, literally at the top, but again, look at the time manifold. So middle aged, how's that? Was that all good? I hope it was very descriptive. If you have any other questions, fire them out. Remember, as I always say, as Daniel complains, Daniel says, I hate when you say that it's cheaper by the dozen, but it is. It's the same cost for the first one as it is the 12th one. So you have 11 more questions. Fire away. And so now let's drift over to where were we at? We were looking at, yes, the dollar against the Swiss. You can see that firmness in there. Matter of fact, what was curious is, let me just take you over to here into bonds. I was really surprised in some aspect that with that run to the dollar, all of a sudden bonds the last day and a half have moved down, which is like, what? What? With the strength of the dollar, normally they both go together. We've got things going in all kinds of directions right now. I mean, this election stuff has got it all freaked out. And then you can see, like right here, crude oil is just like rolled over. But then look at it yesterday, it jumped back into the buy again. So that's kind of cool. And so, we'll see what that does. But then look how deep down the white line is off of the time manifold here. So, there's a lot of, like I said, there is a lot of noise going in a lot of directions. Today's the last day of the quarter. And you would think there might be some buying at the end of the day. We'll see. But then you've got the election. So it makes it awful, awful tough to, money is trying to adjust itself. You got to take them down to take them up. And I kind of, for the last 3 weeks, I've been thinking that they're going to take them down because they're already pricing in the Trump victory. But then you've got the corona thing going on this week. As I sip my tea. And so you've got all kinds of directions going on. I mean, there's like, wild and woolly. And then you can see here's the Dow Jones Industrial Futures, or, Dow 30 Futures contract. You see we had a new wave signal here. We don't talk about that too much around here, do we? There's a new wave signal there. And then we just had another new wave signal on Friday of last week. And then, voila, it went down. So, let's see what we got there. Got a ding somewhere. Let's see what it is. Let's see who's dinging me. La ding, la ding. Why is Joe Biden listed as a criminal suspect? I saw where they've I guess they went after, what was it? They had the same thing on Hunter Biden last December because of the laptop. Remember, the FBI has been sitting on that stuff for over a year now. So there's going to be a lot of changes once Mr. Trump is back in office officially. There's a lot of strange things going on here in America. I feel like Joseph Stalin is trying to climb out of the grave and come here or something. I don't know. Our media doesn't understand the First Amendment anymore. They're blocking information. It's all evidence, and all we do is see crazy stuff every day. So anyway, that's where we're at there. You can see here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we had a new wave signal last week. There was one there. We had a nice run that way. Now this one's done this one this way. So they occur. It takes a 5-day pattern to generate a new wave signal. So in this case here, it took some work to do it, but it did it, and boom, it fell down. Last time we saw one of the major indicators of mine, the new wave signal, which I rarely ever talk to about around here. Because I only follow it on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We had like a 3 or 4 in a row, and it took this market through the roof back in March. We had 3 or 4 of them in a row, and I was saying then on our webinars, watch out, it's like an August of 1982 situation coming, and sure enough, it was a V bottom, and the thing took off to the moon. Yes, indeed. So, all right. Where are we now? Okay, so I'm not sure why we ended up in Dow Jones Industrial Average, but that's where we're at. Oh, I think I was talking about the crazy markets in general. All right, so let's slide back over to, we can close this. There you go. Let's go back to the currencies, and we'll go take a look at the euro. And there's the euro. Weakness again, but look at this. The white line's still holding over the time manifold. So, I mean, this sell-off has been a real chill. It's been okay for option traders, but for everybody else, it's not be long. That's all. Don't be long. Don't be short. Just don't be long. That's what it comes down to. Let's check it out over on J4X. Right there. Oh, we don't even have the little red line on there, do we? So that's 3 full days, 4 full days now in a sell. Let's put that on there. Where is that? Oh, there it is. There it is. And as you can see on the fact check spreadsheet, right there, 4. Faux. That's it. 4 days in a sell with 1 week in a buy, and it looks like it'll be a second week in a buy with no problem whatsoever. And who knows, maybe this will be a V bottom after Tuesday or something like that. So we'll see what that does. It's quiet today. Everybody's quiet. It's it's the Friday before the election. The election of a lifetime. Okay, let's take a look at the cable. There it is. The cable is trying to lift up too. And that's going on, where's it? That's right there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a faux also. Faux. And you can see it on this right above, that's line 13 on the fact check spreadsheet. It's also showing you faux. And it's also, what's that, 2 weeks in a weekly buy. And you can see this thing's doing the same exact thing. Holding up very well. You know, pretty much supporting bottoms, not really doing anything too dastardly. Just taking profits, I guess. And let's check it out. As we saw here, same thing with the J4X with the euro. And let's check out cable right there. Probably looking about the same. It's probably trying to turn up, that's for sure. Yep, see it's trying to turn up there. Just trying to turn up in there. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. What else? Anybody care to see anything? Come on. IVB. Choose something. We'll take a look at it. I'm bored. First, we're going to go to Turkish lira, though. I saw a tough article on Turkish lira today. Tough. Where's the high today? 837.8. Damn thing's trying to get to the 8.5 mark, and then when we get there, we're going to start going, uh-oh. Are we looking for a 9 handle? Number 9. Oh, my goodness gracious. So, it sounds like the Russian Federation put a little clamp down on Mr. Aragon. Said, you're being a little too aggressive. You got to chill. And so I guess that's putting out chill into the currency even more. They say that the economy's in tithers, but tathers and so forth. I kind of don't know about that, but I guess it could be. Anybody from Turkey in the webinar here, give us a yell. Tell us what it's like. Or maybe you're not allowed to do that on writing, I guess. Oh, well. Send up a flare. Let's see. And there's a Turkish lira. You know, just marching along. Next week is going to be number 48. 48. Is that wild or what? 48. My goodness gracious. It just keeps on. The beat goes on. We'll probably be coming down to 4 weeks away from 52. Like a deck of cards. My goodness. And look at that time manifold on the weekly, no less. Holy moly. Look at that. This thing's gone. It's trying to go catastrophically up or like ballistic. Look at that. That thing's going ballistic on it. I mean, even that angle was nothing compared to this one. And then it went on for a couple more weeks. But I wonder if we can scrunch that. Let's scrunch that up and see if it will scrunch. The angle looks pretty steep. Whoa. Look at that big move. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I mean, that's things. Look at that. That's things. What's that, like, I don't know, 120 degrees? I don't know. Look at that thing. I mean, that thing is tough. I mean, hell's bells. I mean, that one was sharp. But look at the size of that thing. Wow. I don't know if you can say much more than wow. Well, that's all I can say is wow. Okay. That is there. Let's go over to Canada. And Canada does the same. It's amazing how the two of them love to travel the same way. Luckily, Canadians not getting crushed. You know, I mean, it's high. Yeah, we can say that, you know, and you can see, oh, wow, yeah, go to J4X. Let's look at Canadian on a J4X. but not like the Turkish lira high. No, 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 no. Look at that. Look how far off its high as it is. It's like, oh, it's not, it's in the same trend, but it's not getting, kicked to the ground. That's for sure. Oh man, as they used to say on the trading floor, looks like it was rode hard and put the bed wet. Old horse expression. Yeah, exactly. In other words, you rode that horse hard. It's all wet, and you didn't dry it off, and the poor thing is in the stall shivering. So, let's see what else we got going on there with the Canadian. You can see here the weekly's pressing down still, just like everybody else is pressing up. And this thing is pushed pretty hard. Let's see how they do over the next couple of days if they start to top it out. I think we were talking about that with the Swiss. Let's go back to the Swiss really, really quick. Yeah, remember we were talking about that yesterday, where the action kind of reminds me of like this action here, and we're starting to do that already. It's starting to do a little digestion there. All right, now where do we go from here? Let's go check out NASCAD, which popped into a daily sell there on line 20. Is it line 26? I think it's line 26. Yeah, line 24. There it is right there. So we're in a weekly sell, and look at that. And so look at this thing. It's trying to turn up. So it looks like it's going to go easily through a weekly buy. It closed in a sell there, and now it's trying to get back up into the buy. And we wonder, we always assume that there'll be strength. In this case here, that would mean strength in the oil complex. So we go over to there, and there's the oil. You can see it's trying to lift up. We are in a daily buy. So, but look at this. We're through the weekly with no problem. A lot of, like I said, this is just one drifty, people trying to get out of their positions or cut the risk type of situation going on. That's all we're looking at this point, and we're only like, what is it, 2 full trading days away, 3 full trading days away now, 3 full trading days away from this stuff. Because I really think there'll be a decision Tuesday night. Trumpy will be, he'll have the electoral college, and that'll be it. And then everybody will whine and cry and complain on the left like they always do. That's what they always do. That's who they are. Remember, us Republicans would say Obama is our president, but Democrats say Trump is not our president. That's what the problem is that they are just off the rails. All right, let's see what gold's doing. Gold's trying to do the same thing. Went into a daily buy. Same thing here. The histogram, the white line is breaking down below with the histogram minus. We're going on 2 full weeks there. This is going to be a 3rd week there. So, and just like oil, same situation. Maybe they're coming to their lows. Maybe that's what it is. It could get a little bit lower. Whoa, let's do this. Let's do one of these little spinny things. There we go. And you can see there. Daniel does that. I think Daniel puts the little spinny thing up there. Oop, we dropped something. Where's that mousey at? Come here, mouse. Get over here. And you can see right here, same situation there. We'll see how it plays out. And there was no more questions or anything. Wow, what a dead Friday, huh? Deado. All right, now check out Platinum. Platinum is trying to push itself back into this long sell that it was in. The daily, which is really whack, it's pushing, up. But here we've got 3 green dots, and the thing is, one day it's up, that one's down. Now this today is trying to get back in there again. So I mean, I don't know. There's no real clear direction any of this stuff. I think. I can't say it enough times, and I'll probably say it for another 2 trading days. There's just a lot of cross currents, in all products. Money's trying to adjust itself for whatever occurs, and no money manager wants to have to be walking around saying, "Oh, I didn't take any profits," 3 days or 3 weeks before the election. The investors will be like totally 100% ballistic on them. That they'll be like, what is your malfunction that you didn't know how to take some profits? And that's usually the heart of it all. Really, is that if they don't take some profits and make their investors figure that they have half a brain, then what happens is it freaks a lot of people out. So there is pressure on the market. Maybe. No maybe, baby. No maybe. Let's head there. Zoom. 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 Right there. There is the dollar peso. You can see that. Doing that same thing we talked about with the Swiss, possibly doing a short little top out. We talked about that. In other words, more of a profit-taking gig. Look at this. Now, if we can get some bounce out of this, you could try to ride it. But this thing doesn't even want to do that. It's aiming down. I really, IVB, I really think that I can't hide that thought that I have, and that is that they're just taking profits. Money's just trying to get out of things, trying to, flatten out a little bit, hedge a little bit for Tuesday's results, that type of thing. So I know I've already gotten messages how, I guess it was like 4 weeks ago, how margins were going up, and they were going to start on the 23rd, and they started a little bit earlier than that, and then so money's been pushed to flatten over the last 2 weeks, because I've been getting warnings about margin change for 4 weeks, and then they, as the market backed off this week, they've even increased it more, and now they're like, again, they're warning on Tuesday margins are going to be even more enormous. So brokerage houses are trying to adjust for the potential risk factor there, and that can chase people out of positions also. Right now, not all of us understand the options universe, and so you can instead basically put option positions on. Matter of fact, probably what we'll do is on Monday or Tuesday we'll start looking at the straddle price and see what the potential is for the market. We did that. I remember when I did that for cable. People were like, "You're out of your mind, Doc. What do you mean we're going to move 28 handles?" It's like, that's what the options are saying. They're like, 28 handles, 2,800 points. It's like, yeah, that's what the options are saying. And sure enough, what did we do? We went like 31 handles, and then it fell. And at one point, I think it closed at 28 handles. And people were like, "How does that work? How do they know?" And it's like, that's money, is prepared to protect itself, and so they start to adjust by using options, and they all reflect how much the risk is, and so they do it on. You can see it on all the major stocks all the time. Like Google and Amazon. They have an earnings coming out or something like that, or some news, and it's announced weeks ahead of time that it's going to come out, and all of a sudden it starts to go into the option, and the next thing you know is it's reflecting that the stock can move like 85 points, and people are like, "What? 85 points in a day, or 130 points in a day? Are you kidding me?" And then sure enough, it does it, and people go, "How did they know? How did they know?" It's what option traders do. They look at the risk and volatility. We are the rocket scientists of the trading world. All right, let's see. What are we looking at? We're looking at Mexican peso. How about anything else? Would you like to see anything else? We can always do this too. Go to the British pound peso and see what that looks like right there. See, it's trying to do the same thing, trying to roll over. And this thing's being buried down like so. Hey, no problem. Always like to look at anything and everything. I don't care. I'm always fascinated by looking at the math. The math captivates me. So, speaking of which, I saw a headline. Let me see if I can find it. I think we should all take a look at this. This is a very interesting one. This one was out of Zero Hedge today. Let's see if we can find it here. I know I did post it. and it's about the Chinese going crypto. I know they've talked about it before. Let's see if we can find it. And like I said, I posted it. Let's see if I can find it, and then we'll put it up. Here it is, right there. And we're going to switch over that screen to this screen right there, and there it is there. There's an article, Chinese central bank poised to legalize digital yuan as part of the sovereign fiat currency. That's going to be very interesting. That has the potential to float more. So, and I guess if there's no futures contracts, I mean, there's no real hedging to begin with the yuan to begin with. So, but this could be interesting. Having a digital footprint. The question really comes down to is how much money is the People's Bank of China, PBOC, People's Bank of China, right there? How much money they're really willing to? What is it? We can get rid of the ad there. There it is. Another car ad there on it, but right there. How much money are they really willing to prop up the digital currency? That'll be a very interesting thing to see. And for a change that that'll make me very happy to watch the action. I really like that idea. I like that a lot, that they start to go towards a digital currency. That to me is I like to see as much open free market action as possible. I really do. And that's one of the problems is that we don't see that, and that's the sad part. Is that we don't see uh, all our currencies and so forth. We have quantitative easing, and so we see semi free floating action. More commercials. Can't we get rid of these commercials? There it is. And so that'll be it'll be nice to be able to see how the yuan functions in an electronic market. And so like I said, the big question will be is how much is the Chinese, the People's Bank of China, willing to prop up the product? That's what it really comes down to. And then the bigger question is delivery and so forth. Since there is no hedge, they may be able to, if there's an electronic market, they may be able to, outside the United States, outside of China, they may be able to start creating a derivative. You could actually probably create an ETF deliverable to the crypto, which would be really cool, because right now you can't do any of that. So that will be the thrust, I guess you could say, of it all, is that an electronic yuan will open the doorway for possible true valuation of the yuan, because I really think the yuan should be like 13 or 14 or 15, not 6 or 7. So that's the thing that I'm always beating a drum about, but not many people are listening. And a lot of our society here, in the political class, loves China, which is really weird. But that's what it is, I mean, really, we just have to grin and bear and roll with it. So that is that. All right, where do we go from here? Any ideas? Anybody see anything? Well, if not, we'll go wander around again. Let's take a look at. Oh, here we go. IVB says, I believe digital yuan is the reply to a potential U.S. push to ban usage of SWIFT network using yuan currency. So they are preparing in advance with digital currencies. I guess I understand what you're saying, but I think that I don't think there'd be a problem really. I mean, I guess this is a Swift situation more toward not because of the currency, but because of some of the other problems they have. I mean, can you elaborate on that? I mean, let's see. Let me just take a look. Let me just take a look at the Swiss. Swift. That's a deliverable delivery system, right? So that's a. Let's see. And I don't think they allow delivery, right? That's the problem. Is there's not a foreign Swift refrigerated drive with an industry leader. No, that's not it. Currencies, payment technology, extreme range of more than 140 currencies with no limits on transactions amounts. So how to use Swift online? RMB tracker Swift global provider security, worldwide currency usage and trends. China expands testing of a digital currency in case U.S. bans yuan. I don't think they'd ban the currency. I'm seeing the headline to it. I haven't heard anything about banning the yuan. China's global yuan push makes inroads in Asia and Africa. I haven't heard anything. There's no domestic. There's only a domestic yuan, right? There is no foreign yuan. I mean, they seem to bounce in between. Remember, they at one point they were talking about making the yuan a oil, gold deliverable product. That seemed to disappear altogether. But the Chinese were talking about that. Is there anybody being banned at the moment with Swift? That's the bigger question. I think I'll look and see. But what currency? You know, let's see if anybody's being banned. Even like the Iranian currency probably isn't. Let's just check and see. Is Swift banning any currency? Let's see. Trying to find that article again. Security, Swift Online. Bans. Let's see. Does Swift ban? Let's try that. Does Swift ban any currency? Let's see. See if we can come up with that one. Transport, Swift code, money transfer. Swift meaning all you need to know about Swift Bank. Wondering what the Swift network is and has. Let's see. Standards, international bank account numbers is Swift code. IBAN versus Swift. How the Swift system works. Behind most international money and security transfers is the Society for and unaccredited banks unique. Okay. Explains how does Swift ban hurt Iran. Okay, so there you are. They must be banning Iran. The world's biggest interbank transfer network, Swift, says it will no longer... Let's check that out. Let's see. Explain how does a Swift ban hurt Iran. The world's biggest interbank transfer network says it will no longer handle transactions by Iran banks blacklisted by the EU. And this quick explainer looks at how the move will limit Iran's ability to trade internationally amid controversy over its nuclear activities. Okay. So I guess we're doing that. SWIFT is an acronym for an electronic process that is familiar to everybody who has transferred money overseas from one bank to another. To make the transfer, your bank asks you for a receiving bank's SWIFT code or electronic address. Okay. So that's what they're thinking. Okay. I have not heard that. I haven't heard that. But here in the States about banning Chinese currency. We're starting to move away from buying a lot of stuff from them. That's about it. But I have not heard anything more than that. So, all right, that's a good point. Thank you. I appreciate that. I believe the Chinese are fearing U.S. is just about to do the same thing against yuan. Yeah, but for what reason? I mean, they're not. they're not asking China to do anything that they haven't already done. I mean, they're asking China. They've asked China to open up their country more. That's about it, and stop stealing stuff. Um, and it seems like they're moving in that direction. They've stopped stealing a lot of stuff because a lot of people now know that you don't give them intellectual property. They'll steal it. So I think Iran's a lot more belligerent, in many ways. I mean, no doubt that the China virus, that C-19, has been a real disaster to the whole world. And but I don't think that they're really going to hold them that accountable more than just words. I don't really see. There's no real talk of anything more than just tougher trade deals. That's all I hear in the States. That's what Trump's talking about, just more tougher trade deals, nothing more than that. But that makes sense. It does make sense. I mean, if they're trying to make sure that they have an outlet, that would be the best way to go, is to go digital. That would make sense. All right. Again, I fall back to my first premise, and that is that I really have a hard time believing that the People's Bank of China will really protect a digital yuan. I really doubt that. So, and again, they don't. It's not like they trade a lot to begin with. Was it under 1% of the world's volume is Chinese yuan? So was it wasn't it you or Daniel showed me in 2016 or 15? It was up to 3 point something at one point. Someone reflected that they put something up there, a statistic that showed that the Chinese yuan was up around 3 point something back in 16. But then again, we were buying, 500 billion dollars worth of goods from them a year. Now we're buying like 250 or 225 billion dollars worth of goods a year. So we've cut our purchases from China by half. So you would assume that the currency would collapse down into the 1 point something, 1.8, something like that. And obviously what I read with the IMF said that it was under 1% now, or right around 1%. Actually, it was a little bit. It was basically 1%, something like that. It might have been just a tad over 1%, not under. So, but I have a habit of calling it under 1%. So, all right, that makes sense. I see that article making a little bit more sense. But again, I think the key is right here in it. I really have my doubts about this right here. I really think that the people's, let's see, can you see my mouse there? I think you can see it. There it is. Right here. I really have my doubts that they'll prop it up. I really don't see them defending their own currency. That's why it's not very tradable, You have to defend your own currency to be able to trade it. Have it make it international, All right, let's jump back over to the charts. Back to the charts. Back to the future. And so then, let's see. What else we got going on around here? Where'd we leave off? We were left off at cable or British pound peso. You can see a little pressure in there. And same thing right here. Let's go over to J4X. Where is it at? They don't have it on here? I guess I've got to ask for it. So I go like this. GBP. MXN. Like that. There we go. No, that's the euro. What is that? GBP. That's curious. They don't have a GBP MXN on here. Let's see, where's that at? It's got to be in here somewhere. I guess if I put a slash in there. MXN. Now, what is that all about? GBP / MXN. Huh. Curious. All right. Let's see. What else we got going on here? All right. Well, you can see it here on our thing here. You can see the pressure on it. All right, let's move over to. Let's see. We looked at gold. Let's go back over to the commodities complex. We looked at crude. There's crude. And we looked at gold. We looked at platinum. Did we look at silver? Silver's doing a nice job here. Look at this. It's actually dancing on the edge. Now that's looking promising. Look at that. On the weekly. Will the silver bounce first? Wouldn't that be nice? Robin's always saying that to me. He thinks that silver wants to make its dash, first. So we'll see. We shall see. And what else do we got going on there? I guess that's about it on that metal. Now we saw copper. I think copper's doing the same thing. Let's take a look at copper. The copper. Yeah, see, copper's still in a weekly buy, and now it's trying to get into a daily buy. We got a volatility signal kicking out right here. Let's refresh that. There we are, right there. So we are definitely seeing the strength that's trying to kick in. Let's put it that way. It is trying. We don't know if it's going to, but it sure is trying. And that was an interesting little slide there. But it did it with the weekly very firm. And if silver's bullet shine, isn't that the truth? Silver is, it would be... Silver's... Let's go back to silver. Silver is a very interesting product, the way they slam it in such high percentages. When you look at this... the product was up to 29, and they drive it down to 22, right? And so, that's a $7 move, which is like 28%. And then you go and look at like gold, right? In the same time period, the thing falls down from, say, 2,080, and it goes down to 1,850, which is $230, which comes out to be 6%, 6.5%, 7% tops. Isn't that amazing? The tenacity, just the tenacity of was that the 850? So it is like a 11% move, 10.5% move, something like that. It's like half of the silver move, percentage wise. Is a sell-off like the ones in Bitcoin loves to have. Yeah, now Bitcoin's been just pushing along. It's trying to establish. Matter of fact, which is interesting, I guess this is going out. This is basically dead, so we should really look at go further out. Like there's December, and let's refresh it. And you can see here, this thing just battles with not trying to, go down. We're from the 1,100 to 1,400, $3,000 in this product, on the upside, doing so much better in that complex, the cryptos. And same thing here on October, which expires today. And probably is not really that much of the front month anymore. And it's been in a long buy. Matter of fact, this red dot at the time when we marked it it had a green dot. And so on our fact check spreadsheet, which can be adjusted now when we look at that, we have Bitcoin 15 days in a buy and 6 weeks in a buy right there. And it doesn't seem to be trying to fall down whatsoever. And really what was interesting was with that PayPal news a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, really opened the doorway for all these cryptos to have more life in them. So, I guess if they have a digital yuan, I don't know if on a no digital right now. Like I saw, what was it? The hedge funds last quarter recorded $500 million worth of purchases in cryptos. Okay, that's for the whole quarter. Hedge funds picked up $500 million worth. an incredible. That's a drop in the bucket. I mean, literally a drop in the bucket. And you got to assume most of it came out of Bitcoin because of because they can hedge it. So they probably bought some of the ancillary ones that are Ether and all that other ones they talk about, but they can hedge it with the Bitcoin. So, Daniel, there you are. Good morning. Yeah, well, I mean, it's been, it's starting to break away. It really is. And now the PayPal is trying to open the doorway for it to be able to, be used as a currency or a product that's pretty good. Let's see. Daniel says Russia blitz in Syria warns Turkey to back off in Caucasus. I saw that. Matter of fact, we talked about it a little bit there. I didn't get into that story. I got into the one with. Did you see the one with? Here, let me show you. Did you see this one? Where the Chinese central bank is. Chinese central bank poised to legalize digital yuan as part of the sovereign fiat currency. That's in zero hedge too. And then Turkish lira, boy, it's got a curve. Let's go back over to currency real quick. It's got a trajectory. Look at this on the weekly. Look at that right there. I mean, no doubt the daily has taken off here, just like it did, or like it did here. It's doing it again. But what really caught my eye is this angle. I mean, there's nothing on the weekly like that going way back with all the moves we've had. It's had that was a nice one, but not nothing as sharp. I mean, that's a real sharp move. I mean, we're heading for let's see, what's the high now? The high is 378. So we're almost at 8.5 now when it comes to the Turkish lira. Yeah, I know it's tough. 10? Yeah, I mean it doesn't look good. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Turkish and Azar mobs hit streets looking for Armenians in France. Wow, that's weird stuff. Ugh. Yeah, Europe is. How did I saw somebody? How did they describe it? Oh, I saw on Stuart Varney yesterday. He described Europe as a museum, and that's why he moved. He left. He's looking at that continent now as just a museum. And what happens to museum? They get old and dusty, right? In the end. And so Europe is really burying itself by all this politically correct stuff that they're doing. And so what, they got these beheadings going on in France. France is really in the thick of it, isn't it? Yeah, France is really taking it on the chin out of this whole circumstance that's going on. So, all right. Do you want to look at anything particular besides the cryptos? We saw that. We can go back to it again if you want. There's cryptos, and it's acting extremely well. And playing around with the 14,000 area. And today, October expires. Let's see where October's going out. Rocktober. There it is right there, Rocktober. See, now, what's interesting is October is hanging and got up to 13,660, 13,780, whereas the back months are sliding up into the 14,000 area. To me, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, Latvia, even Belarus is trying. I mean, it's just a lot of the younger, or let's put it this way, the old Eastern Bloc countries that are now part of Europe are fighting real hard to become civil and solid and capitalistic, whereas, the old, the old tired ones, like Germany and Italy and France. Yeah, the emergings, exactly. Oh, I totally agree. The emergings are just, I hear it, on the webinars over the decade now. I've been hearing it. they care. They want to be involved. They know what communism looks like, and they know it doesn't work. They know what socialism looks like, and they know it doesn't work. And so France and Germany and all those others, Switzerland, the same. Oh God, Swiss! Don't start me on the Swiss. I love the Swiss. Starting to think about buying a house there. I mean, Switzerland, yeah. I mean, the Swiss have got their game together. But you notice those crazy votes about, like, they want to vote. They keep on having these elections where they want people to have like a standard living or something like that. They want the government to pay people to not work. That's crazy stuff. Just really strange stuff is going on there. You know. So, um, no, I hear you. I hear you. UBI, yeah. You know, I mean, it seems to be managed very well, Switzerland, but the population is catching that socialist infection that's been floating through France and Italy and Germany for a long while, and now it's trying to permeate. Also the Nordic countries have been socialistic. They're starting to learn their lessons on that, where it's not working too well. So yeah, I hear you there. Um, the emerging ones are where it's at, as far as I can tell. Britain is trying to fight its way back into the emerging side. That's what's going on there. Yeah, no, I hear you. And well, look at it. They have trillions of dollars committed to do nothing. That's a weird thing right there alone. The idea that there's trillions of dollars that are paying zero interest or minus. That's so weird. How do you get growth out of that? You don't. People start losing confidence in the economic system when they have to pay just to put money in a bank account. It's like, don't save, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, that's really strange stuff. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, really what it comes down to now is that the emerging countries are trying to lead their way out. And look at Poland. The way Poland is, becoming the second most powerful industrial nation on the continent. And at the same time, it has nowhere near the population size of France, which was the second largest industrial nation on the continent. So we're seeing some of the stranger things occur. There's no doubt about that. And you're right. The emerging countries may, in the end, what do they say out of the mouth of babes, What do they say about children, what children say sometimes can be very accurate and legitimate and so forth. So, anyway, Doc's got to get going, and it's Friday. So, TGIF to everybody. We will catch you tomorrow. We'll catch you Monday. That's what we're going to do, is we're going to catch you Monday, and we'll see how things are rolling along there. So, everybody have a safe and smart weekend. This is Doc saying arrivederci, and happy trails to you until we meet again on Monday. Happy trails to